Today, we're diving into something that's absolutely critical for anyone who works with children: safeguarding. We're going to break down what it really means, why it's so important for international students, and the crucial part you play in being their protective shield.
So, let's just start with this question. I want you to really think about it. Imagine a kid, thousands of miles from everything they know, in a new country, maybe not even speaking the language that well. If they felt scared, or if something was wrong, who would they tell? The answer, almost every time, is you. And that's exactly why we're talking about this today.
Okay, first up, it's really important to get this straight from the beginning. This isn't just about being a nice person. It's a legal duty of care. Here in the UK, there are actual laws that bind every single person who works with children, all designed to keep them safe. Let's look at what that means for you.
So this right here, this is the official legal definition of safeguarding. I like to think of it as a three-part shield. First, you're protecting kids from actual harm. Second, you're preventing anything that could mess with their development. And third, you're making sure the whole environment they're in is safe. This isn't just a good idea, it's the standard.
Now, I know hearing legal duty can sound, well, a little intimidating, but the truth is, your actual role in this whole system is incredibly simple. It really just boils down to one key thing. And this is it. Know your DSL. That stands for the Designated Safeguarding Lead. This is the person on your team, on site, who is the trained expert. Their whole job is to handle these concerns. You are not meant to be a detective or a lawyer. You are the eyes and ears. The DSL is the expert you report to. Honestly, on day one of any job, the first thing you should do is find out who your DSL is.
Okay, so now let's zoom in a bit and talk about the unique world of our international students. Because if we don't understand their situation, we can't really understand why they are so uniquely vulnerable and why our approach has to be just a little bit different.
Just try to imagine the invisible walls these students are up against. They might not have the English words to say what's really going on. In their culture, questioning or reporting an adult might be completely unheard of. And then there's homesickness. How do you tell the difference between that deep ache of missing home and something more serious being wrong? And on top of all that, there's fear. Fear of getting in trouble or worse, being sent home. Let's just sit with this for a second. This question, it just cuts right to the heart of it, doesn't it? When you take away language, culture, and family, a kid's entire support system is just gone. You, the person they see every day, you become that support system. You're the one they might turn to, even if they can't find the words.
So, if students can't always tell us what's wrong, how are we supposed to know? Well, this is where you become an observer. Your job is not to be a psychologist or a mind reader, it's simply to notice when something feels off. These are the kinds of things you're looking for. We're talking about sudden changes. The chatty kid who goes quiet, the calm one who suddenly starts acting out, and pay really close attention to that last point, peer-on-peer abuse. Bullying, for example, is a huge one in schools. If you see it happening, your job is to stop it, right then and there, and then report it.
And this is so important to remember. Your job is not to diagnose. It's to observe. Whether you notice a weird bruise or just a change in mood, your job is not to figure out why. Your one and only job is to pass that observation on to the expert, the DSO. Trying to investigate yourself can actually cause way more harm than good.
Okay, so you've noticed something. Now what? What do you actually do in that moment? Well, there's an exact 4-step procedure you need to follow every single time. This is your playbook.
This slide right here is probably your most important takeaway. It's the 4 R's. First, recognize something's off. Second, respond. Just listen calmly if a child tells you something. Third, record exactly what you saw or heard and use their own words. That's key. And fourth, report it to the DSL. Right away. That's it. That's the whole process. I cannot say this loud enough. You are the messenger, not the detective. This is the golden rule. The moment you start asking questions like, "And then what happened?" or "Who did that to you?" you risk messing up the child's memory of events. It could seriously damage a real investigation later on. Your job is to simply pass the message. That's all.
So let's look at the do's and don'ts. When a child tells you something, they need to feel safe and believed. So you stay calm and you tell them, "You did the right thing by telling me." Now here's what you don't do. You never ever promise to keep it a secret. Instead, you can say something like, "Thank you for telling me. This is really serious, so I have to share it with the person whose job it is to keep you safe." No secrets, no leading questions, and absolutely no waiting to report it.
All right, in our final section, let's talk about professional boundaries. These hard lines are not about being cold or distant. They're about protecting the students and, frankly, protecting you too. They are completely non-negotiable.
Let's play out a scenario that could happen to any of us tomorrow. A student sends you a DM on your personal Instagram. They say they need help, and it sounds urgent. What's the right move here?
The answer is crystal clear. You do not reply. Not even to say let's talk at school. You take a screenshot and you report the contact to your DSL immediately. All communication has to happen through official monitored school channels. This isn't about being mean. It's about creating a safe professional space for everyone. It protects the child and it protects you from any kind of false allegation. It's a hard line for a good reason.
So, let's bring it all back to that first question. Who would a child, far from home, turn to for help? The answer is you. And by simply noticing, listening, and then passing on the message, you become so much more than just a staff member. You become a crucial, irreplaceable part of that child's protective shield. And that is an incredibly important job to have.